Welcome back. Profound Podcast, episode 5, man. Simple. Today, we got a special guest on the radar. I don't know if y'all been tuned in, but those of you who have, know who this is. All right? Know who this is. Number one podcast season 1.
Way back.
Way back
Way
when.
back, man.
Like we talking 3 years.
Eons
3
ago.
years ago.
Eons ago.
But we
bro.
back. You can do them a favor. Introduce yourself. Shout out whatever you want to shout out. If you want to shout out anything.
If you don't know me, I'm Fanuel Pong. It's like my 4th or 5th time back. I'm glad to be back as always. Ready for a great conversation.
And that's simple. But today we talking about freedom. Free will. Nature. And everything within.
Everything in between.
So the first question that I have for our general conversation is, do we even have free will in the first place?
For me, I think it's all about perspective and like what you believe free will tends to be. Because like in some cases, like you could be like genetically predisposed to something like mental illnesses, for example,
Right.
and really have the free will to do that. And like your genetic makeup doesn't really like you don't have really free will in that sense. But at the same time, like you have the free will to wake up every single day, make up your plans, do your plans, go to the school, not go to the school, and like in a sense, on a micro scale, I think so. But on a macro scale, something's out of your control. I think like in life, the only person that you can control, only thing you can actually control is yourself. And it's all about your perspective. But like if you feel like you're not like free in a sense, you won't be free. But if you think that you are free, in some sense, like you could potentially have free will. So yeah.
I feel that for sure. I feel like my concept of free will has definitely changed over the years. It's not something I really gave so much thought to because, we're all influenced by stuff like outside of our control or stuff that we don't even perceive often. But I think we have free will in the sense that we can direct our will towards specific ends. Like we can do specific stuff with our awareness and our consciousness. But many times I think we don't do that. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think a lot of stuff is sort of guided for us. I think when we don't input things for ourselves to do, we just fall victim to what we're told to do in a way.
It's so easy to like get into like the mindset of like, oh yeah, like go through the motions, and you don't even have like free will to do that. But at the end of the day, like you are the only person that controls you, and like you can't like anybody tell you otherwise, pretty much. Because I mean, if you want to like drop out of college, you could do that. If you really wanted to, if you want to like continue to like grind and do well in school, you could do that. But like at the end of the day, like only you control you. Like forget about all the like outside like extracurricular like factors, because like you can't really control that. But at the same time, it's all about perspective. Like I said, if you control like yourself, that's in a sense is a semblance of free will.
Yeah. So do you think that people are being driven by like a sense of comfort, or what do you think causes people to not actually use their will to their own advantage?
I think definitely getting out of your comfort zone, because like it's so easy to like just like stay in a stance or like a predisposition of like, oh yeah, I'm going through this because I have to go through this because society tells me to go through this. My parents told me to go through this, and since I don't have free will, and I think you get like so comfortable with where you are or what place you are in life that you just forget that sometimes like you actually have the choice. Like, it takes for me sometimes it takes like a sentient effort to like, realize, damn, let me take a step back. I got free will. I can do whatever I want. Sometimes like just having that thought can really like, go a long way, pretty much.
Yeah, I feel like with me, when it comes to like trying to recognize my own free will, I feel like I'm constantly reminding myself of that. But even so, I feel like there are times where I feel like I'm at odds with even parts of myself, because I think that when we open ourselves up to a lot of questions, especially internally, we recognize that we have multiple sides, we have multiple directions that parts of us want to go in. And I think until we decide which one we want to give our energy to, it's like we're constantly going to feel like we're at odds with ourselves. And I think when people are at odds with themselves in that way, they sort of want to give up the control into like the system or society, and then we just end up doing whatever anyone else is doing.
Like, and definitely it comes to like sacrifice. You can't like have it all. You can't like have your cake and eat it as well, pretty much, because like you gotta choose. Like I mean that's just like society in a sense. You can't like choose every single thing, even though you might have free will. You still like pay rent at the end of the day. You still gotta like live at the end of the day, pretty much. You still gotta like and meet the bare minimum, like the bare like requirements, like live. and then like work on top of that in a sense. So like sacrifice does come in part. Unless you want to be like a radical and like just like live off the land or something, like go, I don't know, explore. So I don't know. That's just me though.
So, do you think, like, we can move on to like the topic of freedom in general? Do you think that freedom is impossible in a network where you actually have to put in or put in to get something out? I say, because even I just thought this question because if I thought of like a nomadic life, like living off the land, something like that, you still have to put energy into the land to get stuff to survive, to live. So if any type of existence or living is conditioned, where does the idea of freedom really tie in?
That makes because like, I mean, we didn't choose to be born, so like in a sense, right, we weren't free to have that like willpower to choose in a sense. And I guess in life, everything that you like put in, like I mean, if you want something to come out of something, you got to put in something. So you could just like bedrock or do absolutely nothing for like your whole entire life, but I don't think you really gain much. It's your free will, but people who aspire to do things, even if it's just like be a nomad, you have to put in the effort, a conscientious effort, and like have the free will to do that, and then hope, oh yeah, you can like live off the means, and then I don't know, you can gain happiness in that sense. But yeah, it's definitely a conditional thing, and it's definitely like, oh yeah, I do something, I expect something out of return, because you can't just like not do anything and then hope for something that comes your way. Pretty much, that's not how life works.
I feel that. I think to like a real extent, freedom is like there's so many levels to freedom. I think a person can be free in the world in a way. I mean, it just depends on what frameworks they want to sort of exist in. Like, of course, if we look at a grand societal sense and we're inside a society, we can't be free from it because we're within it. 100%. And even if we like go off the grid, you know, certain practices, certain thought processes, the way we think, or the way we think we are somebody is always something that's in part taught by other people.
Exactly.
So like, how we even free from ourselves in that way?
True, because like in a sense, you're a slave to yourself. You're a slave to your own mindset. So like, it goes back to the question: are you even really free of your own thoughts? Pretty much.
I think we are free of our own thoughts if we give ourselves freedom from our own thoughts in a way. I think I've been trying to practice for like the last couple of years, if not a little bit more, like not detachment from thought, but recognizing that you're not just what you think, but what you think is like characteristic of you in a way. They have a relationship. There is a direct relationship between what you think and what you experience. And until we like separate ourselves from just our thoughts, we think that we have to think a certain way.
Yeah.
And I think that's what and whole like an identity is. It's just us holding on to specific thoughts and memories and compounding upon them over and over again. So I think any freedom in a real sense would be like really to be in the moment. And not reference yourself to anything.
In a sense, like being a bystander in your own life at some points. Like you try and have like a neutral perspective, and not right realizing that oh like yeah, I am my thoughts, but at the same time I'm the one who controls my thoughts, and I'm the one that like gives that thought like precedence or gives it any like importance to it. Like you don't have to be like over like ruled by your thoughts, pretty much.
Yeah, so. we give it a lot of value. I would definitely agree to that. So do you think that people just have a hard time understanding that they can interject thoughts, or do you think it's difficult to interject your own thoughts into your head?
I think, well, you're the only person in your own head, and like you probably know yourself best. So I think it's really easy to like realize or think that oh yeah, like my thoughts are like the objective truth, and it's hard to like get that out of your mind. You can't really have a neutral perspective when you're in your own head, because like who else is gonna come and like be the arbitrator of that? So it's hard to definitely like take a step back and like be like an like out of body experience to like say oh yeah let me like put my thoughts on trial in this sense and see like what really makes sense. But I think with practice you can definitely realize how to like detach yourself from you thinking that you're the nothing but objective truth. And I think it's definitely possible. It's definitely harder than like it's easier said than none, but it's definitely something possible that you could do, and it'll probably like help you in the like long term for the benefit.
I feel that for sure. I think when it comes to like putting our thoughts on trial, I like when you said that, because I feel like we don't ever, or not ever, we just don't often enough question where our information or our own thoughts about ourselves really come from.
Yeah, like, how did you get there in the first place?
Yeah, especially with stuff like self concept and like how that relates to your will and what you do. Like a lot of what we are, who I am, I could say is not necessarily like my own input to an extent. It's my own relationship to certain inputs, but it's not my input directly. And I think until we begin to start questioning that, we don't really see what has influenced us. But I think the problem with questioning is we identify too much with who we currently are, that we feel like if we lose those negative parts of us or something like that, we feel like we're losing part of ourselves.
It's way too late to like detract yourself, because I'm 21. I've lived life for 21 years of experience and memories, a combination of who I am today. I can't just like one day just like say, oh, like let me detract from all I was, all I am, and like be a new person. That's like literally impossible. And like it's just like you can't like, I mean, it's hard to like basically detach without like constant practice, because I'm thinking to myself, if I had like a clean slate like a baby, like then I'd be able to like more likely be able to just detach myself and not like be so comfortable with who I am. But then at the same time, like that's never gonna happen. It has to be something that I work like day and day to like realize that I can grow into somebody that's like not really who I want to like align with right now, pretty much. But I can just be able to understand the fact that I'm me, but at the same time, I can be a better me, and I can like detach from what I'm not like. It's not like a fixed mindset. I'm still like growing in a sense.
So, do you think? So this kind of like bleeds into like the nature versus nurture thing, especially like with the nurturing aspect of who we are. So, do you think that it's possible to truly change who you are?
It definitely has to be at like a younger age. We haven't been influenced as much.
You think we can't teach the old dog new tricks?
I think it's definitely harder. I think it's just like scientifically proven. Because like babies can learn languages at a faster rate, or kids can learn languages at a faster rate than like adults do. I think it applies to other things too. I'm thinking to myself, like imagine like a baby that has never had human contact, and like, just like in a white room, and like, they just like get like they get their own necessary needs, all of that. Like what would their personality be? Like what would their influences be? Like how would they act in a sense? Like they start from like ground zero and like square one, and they have no like point of contact of like with the outside world. Like who do they become in this sense? That's how I kind of like picture. It's kind of hypothetical that I picture sometimes.
Yeah, I've thought about stuff like that before. Like I thought about in the past when like people didn't have names. Like what would not having a name do to someone's identity? Like how much would that take away? But how much would they truly gain? Because I feel like we have to recognize to a good extent we like the name is just something that somebody just threw on us. Like it's not really it's not something that comes with us in a sense.
Exactly.
So like the whole way our brains work, and especially like our identification with certain thoughts and stuff like that. Like I think a lot of words sort of are representations of like limitations.
Exactly, 100%. Because like you put values into things that like aren't usually or don't have value in of itself without human like bias. Like a name is a big thing. Like I could say, Jim, and then it wouldn't be anything unless it's a new name Jim I'm referring to. And like humans love to like put value into things and like box you in a sense 100%. Like we're constrained, even if like back to like going back to like the nomad thing. If you want to be a nomad in America, you're still like legally like bound as an American citizen. You have to like follow the laws, etc. And it's just like all systematic thing in a sense. So like it's hard to like detach and not, even if you don't want to put value on something, it's hard to like detach completely because there will always be like a higher up or something or somebody putting value on that thing, and you have to, I don't know, subconsciously follow that pretty much.
And do you think there's ways to be within like a society or some type of framework and still be able to have some type of personal freedom?
I think definitely on the micro scale, because like I don't think the government's watching me every single day, and in a sense of like, oh yeah, watch my every single move. And I think like me going to school and talking to my friends, or me choosing to do homework, or me just like going outside, going and get something to eat, that in a sense is personal freedom, and like I gain happiness from that. I gain content. I enjoy that, and that is something. I mean, of course, that's to be legal, but I still like I still see it as like my own free will. I'm not trapped in the sense of like, oh, the government's like saying I gotta be on house arrest or something. I'm just trapped in my own mind, I gotta work a way around it to be free, and I do that on a daily basis. Me coming here was my free will. Nobody forced me to come here, so.
Mm. See, I'm getting real out the box with my thoughts right now, but I'm gonna just let it ball out. So like, if we can recognize that everything that we experience is like a concept, especially like society, the system or structure, it's a concept. It's something that was born of someone's mind.
Mm.
And we talk about so much like getting out of our own mind about stuff when we're living within like the mind or mental projection of other people. And that's like a very interesting thing, because if we're able to live within someone else's mind or idea, then what's stopping us from sort of living in our own idea in mind? I recognize that there are definitely like certain limitations. Like I can't just go out here and do anything. But I think any type of freedom has to like live in reference to what you give it. Exactly. Like I was reading a book about it wasn't even about anything. It was just talking about a dude in a jail cell. Like if you define your freedom by the four walls around you, then of course you're captive. Mm-hmm. But if you define it by you being able to, I don't know, just be you, then you're free as you can be.
Because like I remember Rene Descartes, I think therefore I am, and that basically extenuates the fact that like you're free regardless. Like you are a sentient being, regardless of like like you're shackled like physically, you'll never be shackled mentally in the sense of like the outside world can't control you all the way. It can influence you, and it's always been influencing you since you were a kid, and that impacts who you are right now. But it can't like, really shackle you down. If you really want to like give up like everything that the outside world influenced you on, you can definitely try and do that and see where that takes you.
That's true. So, do you think like, because you said it just impacts, and maybe when we like grow up, it's gonna be more difficult to change. So, do you think that with enough like consistent effort, somebody could theoretically change who they were? Because I think a person can change who they are. I think it just takes a certain amount of time. It takes just, I think, conscious intention more than anything. Yeah. I wouldn't even put it like on a time scale, because I think just going off of like the way I think we're just attached to certain thoughts that make us feel like ourselves. If we're able to like input new thoughts and then start associating ourselves with that, then wouldn't we change ourselves? Like, I know I have a very different metric of like how a person changes, because I feel like I've changed as a person since I was like a jit. Like I used to have like terrible anger issues. Like it used to be like so overbearing. Like it was crazy. But I literally remember like the day it felt like I snapped out of it, and I was just like, what is going on?
What's wrong with me?
Low key, like what's going on? I need to lock in, and that's when I started like meditating and doing anything like that. So I was like, there has to be like, there is some change a person can undergo, but everyone's change is always in reference to how much they think they need to put in to be able to change. You know? Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I'm asking like, how hard do you think it is to change someone's like mental framework around what it is they have to do to change?
That's a great question. I think it depends on how inundated that mental framework is like embedded into you. Because like if you're conditioned to believe like one belief, like political beliefs, like you get that from your like family pretty much and your outside surroundings. And if you're stuck with that like at a young age, from like 10, 12, and then grow up until like you're 22, it's just gonna get stronger and stronger. To like ask somebody to change your political beliefs is like asking them to like change their whole entire persona, the whole entire life. So like you're trying to do that, and like even like the like hint of like, oh, maybe you could be wrong, like that kind of like gives you like red flags in a sense. I think it's more so about being able to like see yourself as what you are, like without your own biases. Again, like being your own judge, and trying to be like arbitrator, being like a non-biased perspective about yourself. And I think like if you're able to do that and like put yourself on trial and realize, oh, what I'm doing, I may be in the wrong. I may have these wrong beliefs. I may be able to like change that for the better. But again, people love comfort. People, the truth is very nerve-wracking. If you feel like your truth is like attacked and like you're like not in the right like worldview, like if you attack somebody's worldview, it's gonna be a lot of trouble in this sense. And it's hard for you to like, actually. It's hard for you to like actually like go about that conversation and like be like caring, like so you say I care for you, I want you to change for the better, but their better might not be your better in a sense. So yeah.
like I don't know what's okay. I'm gonna just say it. So like that whole idea of like maybe even if we want to talk about politics, I'm not gonna talk about specific political stuff. I'm just gonna talk about the idea of politics in general. The way that people identify with certain thoughts about parties makes them impacted by how people react to the party. Exactly, and in that way you can't really have a real discourse or conversation because people are too ego involved to actually talk about what's going on.
They don't differentiate themselves from the party. They are the party.
They are the party itself, and that doesn't really make sense to me. I think that's why I'm saying like they've forced themselves to live in like the mind or a concept of another person to the extent where they're identifying with the concept instead of identifying with themselves. But identifying with yourself is a whole nother thing. Like, what does that even mean? I don't know. And that's why I think it really is. It boils down to your choices, like who you choose you are. Because who we are is always a commitment. I think you're always committed to who you are, even if you don't like who you are. You're committed to not liking this version of yourself.
Exactly.
And I don't know. Like, I think to some extent it takes shifts in perspective, but also shifts in action. Like, I think you can't. I don't know. I think it's just the way our minds work for the most part. Like,
and you have to like want to shift your perspective. Yeah, some people just like don't want to change at all for anything, and like they never like grow out of like their own perspective because they feel comfort. And comfort's like one of the biggest things in psychology. Like definitely, like you rather have comfort than any sort of like nerve wracking anxiety or anything. And to like change that after like 10, 15 years of believing in one thing, it's gonna take a lot of like deep thinking and like looking in the mirror and say, oh, maybe perhaps this could have been wrong. My whole like life I've been having this perspective. And maybe I could somehow like see the other side, and maybe it will benefit me. But like you said, maybe it's like a switch that flips one day. But more often than not, people either just like be comfortably wrong, or just like be in their own like right. So they don't care about the objective truth; it's more subjective to them. So
yeah, objective truth. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm gonna talk about comfort, because I think comfort is another thing that prohibits like people from feeling free. Like the whole word comfort implies discomfort, but I'm not even gonna talk about that. But comfort in general, like what makes us comfortable as individuals is always our mental relationship to external things.
Yeah.
But like, why are we having a relationship to this external thing to allow it to have impact over comfort, us? Yeah. And of course, I'm not saying everything. I'm not saying I'll sleep on a bed of nails every night and be like, oh yeah, I'm super comfortable. I don't mean that in that sense, because I feel like a lot of our discomfort isn't necessarily with external things so much as it is like the idea that it represents in reference to us. Like, for example, like speaking in public or something like that. People be biting themselves, but really you're just talking.
As simple as that.
It boils down to that. You're doing it all the time. It's just the way we add value to certain stuff that makes us uncomfortable.
And it's more so like how society add values to it. And like I think I saw a video one time of like how like babies aren't born with fear. I saw them like playing with snakes, and like they're not. Fear is learned. Like you're not like born with fear in a sense. And like when society adds fear onto you, like everybody has like their own phobias. It plays a role in like how you feel, what comfort is, what discomfort is in relation to like said like stimuli that affects your mind.
And I think that also bleeds into like interactions with other people, like other races, other this is that and the other. Any type of separation we have, it's like it's constantly being enforced by us. Just seeing the stimulus because we're told that we're separate from other people, and it makes us like use our awareness against ourselves. And I think that's the most limiting part of society, of anything. I think that's what really takes away our freedom, is our constant focus on us.
Yeah, because you think about like, oh yeah, what does he think of me? Am I doing something wrong? Basically like microanalyzing yourself, micromanaging yourself in like in a sense to please others, and not worrying about how you feel. And me being an overthinker, I'm the biggest I have the biggest problem in that. Like every single interaction, I think like, oh yeah, did I say this wrong? Did I do a good job? Did like you leave a good impression? And it's more so like, oh yeah, my relation to that person is validating me instead of like, oh yeah, I'm just glad I had that conversation. I had that experience.
Yeah, I do the same exact thing, and I constantly have to remind myself like, I don't know what's going on in their head.
Exactly.
And you have to. I think you genuinely have to leave it there.
You gotta leave it at that.
If you want to know, you ask. If you ask, you find out. Exactly, but until you find out, there's no point in trying to bridge that mental gap. Especially if our natural response or the natural response, which should be natural, is negativity,
Yeah.
self-deprecating. Like,
Yeah.
why should we think that our interaction went negative just because of something we noted in someone else's behavior? When what we note in other people's behavior can either be what they're going through, one,
Exactly.
or maybe they didn't even react in that way,
It
and
could
we
be a
just
subconscious
projected
thing, yeah.
projected onto it just because we felt insecure about it. That's a whole, like, everything. Are we free? Are we ever gonna be free, bro? That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, because like you can control your emotions, but does your emotions control you in the sense of like, oh yeah, like it's all boils down like biochemistry. Like you have neurotransmitters that make you feel some type of way. Your synapses fire and make you feel anger, like sadness, happiness. These are all just like biochemicals going on in your head. And like once you like realize that, of course you're not gonna go through those emotions, but like you realize, oh yeah, I don't really have to let this take over me.
Yeah.
I let this like be like drown me in a sense. I'm still in me. I still have like my own thoughts. I still can grow. This is only temporary pretty much. I'll never be fully sad every single day. I'll never be fully like angry every single day. Like it's just like life goes on, time goes on pretty much, and you move on. And maybe it's like you going outside and talking to somebody, you can like change your emotions just like that. It's like it's all like a biochemical response, a physical response. So yeah.
Yeah, speaking of like emotions, do you think that our thoughts cause emotions, or our emotions cause thoughts, or is it like it could be a mix of both?
I think it's a mix of both.
Okay.
But like for me, I know. Of course, like stimuli as well. If I'm having a bad day, I didn't do well on an exam. It can be like ruminating in my head constantly, and I'm like, damn, I did this. I could have done this. I could have done better. And then like, I go back home. I'm like a little bit sulky, and like that thought of me not doing well plays in a sense of like, oh, I am like now not feeling the best. But then at the same time, it could be like reverse. I'm anxious for the exam, so I do bad on it, and then now I feel that type of way. So I see how it both like connects at the same time.
So do you think there's any like possibility for someone to choose their own emotion? Okay, I'll answer first. Because I already had an answer. I didn't want to answer, but I genuinely do think that we can choose our emotions to a good extent. Like, for example, like if you were to imagine what happiness feels like, it's not like there's no feeling that you get in thinking about what happiness is. And if you think about things that make you happy, if you were to imagine yourself in that scenario, you could be happy via that.
Scientists say that if you fake smile enough, like you'll actually like have some sort of happiness because like you're practicing the muscles of smiling. You know what like happiness is.
You just like it's certain connections, and I think the same thing works with our thoughts. If we can recognize we can put our own thoughts into our head, and recognize that thoughts can sometimes inform emotion, then shouldn't our objective be to put thoughts in our head that actually lead to emotions that we want?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that the main thing that has been taken away from us in a sense of our captivity is our ability to think, our ability to actually like use our mind for ourselves and not just to contribute to the world that we're in, like a societal sense.
I wouldn't even know what that would look like in a sense.
Like using your mind for your own benefit is a crazy thing, and it's not easy. I don't think it's an easy thing either, because we all have things that we have to do in the real world, quote unquote real world. And I think sometimes we get so lost within it, we think that, you don't really have to think about anything.
Exactly.
And to some extent, I don't think we have to think about anything.
It's like so easy, especially like in school when school starts. Like that transition from school to from summer to school is so insane to me because like
it just
turns and like you're a robot. You're on autopilot. So the days go by, you don't even realize, damn, Tuesday, it's Wednesday already, it's Thursday, and you're just like, damn, like what have I done? Like I try to think back to like what I actually like consciously did. I'm like, damn, I haven't really done much like thought outside of schoolwork, and it feels like I'm losing my sense of myself. I'm just becoming like a number. I'm becoming a part of society, and I'm losing like my own like personal freedom in a sense. But at the same time, like I could always take a step back and realize that I can do whatever I want in a sense of I can be a freer person that I choose to be, or I can change my perspective and think about how else am I free compared to like somebody else, and then like gain a sense of like judgment of I am really free.
Freedom in reference.
Yeah, probably is the best. It's a slippery slope.
I'm about to say that's a very slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope.
But I understand that completely. Like it's very easy to like see a form of captivity and be like, oh, I'm not that. I'm free or this.
Yeah.
And then like feel some type of happiness or freedom from that.
But that is a slippery slope.
But I don't know if that's like, I would call it true freedom.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know what true freedom is. But I think true freedom would be without reference. It would be to not be referenced to anything. I think that's what it means to be completely free. But okay, this is a whole thing, because freedom can either be like, you could either be free or you can't. Like freedom is always a reference point in your own head.
Yeah,
it's always what you're carrying within yourself that truly keeps you contained. Like
sense.
Yeah, even if it's up to us, then I want to say like, why don't we just give ourselves that liberty?
Yeah.
But then I should like ask better questions, like, why didn't we think of that sooner? And those are people who have thought of that sooner, because there definitely have been people. Why haven't they integrated that into society to make people actually understand their own processes? Because I think a lot of like mental illnesses, a lot of things regards to like low self-esteem and low self-regard, are all born of us not being able to have our own opinions about ourselves.
Exactly, understand ourselves for who we are without any outside judgment, outside thoughts.
It's a crazy thing. It really is a crazy thing.
And like I always like think to myself, would I be freer if I was born in a different like time period? Like imagine the amount of responsibilities I have now, like compared to like if racism didn't exist, like the 1900s per se, or the 1800s, or even before then, before like before the age technology, before the 1400s or something. Like how would I like view freedom? Would like my view of freedom and be impacted by the worldview of freedom as it is like right now? And like how would that freedom be perceived to like everybody around me, and how I would perceive freedom in this sense? Or like, even like going back to like, the caveman era, like to the point of like, oh yeah, what do they view freedom as? Do they even have like the thought of like freedom? Is that like something that they have to worry about, or are they just like pretty much honed in on getting food, surviving in a sense? And that's like a whole nother set of responsibilities. So
yeah, and I actually like that point, because I think if we were put, because I've thought about that before, like if we're put back in this time where like before this overt control of people, I don't even think we'd have a word for freedom, and I think that is the most free thing to be, is to not even have a definition for freedom. Not be able to
box yourself into that.
Yeah, like freedom would just be implied. It wouldn't even be something that's characteristic. And I think that's why I think like words are separation. Like the whole idea of the word of freedom implies that freedom is not a part of who we already are.
Because like you have to think of a word to like relay what you feel, and that's pretty much it. That's how you express yourself
instead of just being that way. Like, and that's a whole thing, because it makes people think of freedom. It makes us separate ourselves from its whole idea, and that's a whole nother way of captivity.
Because like my phone is my biggest captive. It's like 100%. Like technology is my biggest captive. Like I can like be on there for like mindless amount of time and just be like scrolling for like a mindless amount of time, like mindless brain rot pretty much. And I'm just like, I can choose to stop, but I enjoy this. I'm comfortable with this.
Right.
So like, why bother continuing to like actually be discomfortable with like doing something else? I can just do this and like not worry about it, because I guess in a sense that's my free will, but I'm trapped to that. So
yeah. I think the whole point of like social media and stuff like that is to direct our attention, like it's to direct our free will, quote unquote, into specific action that doesn't actually contribute to us. Like recently, the only reason I can say this with such grace is because I gave up social media like a week ago. So I don't really be on social media that much anymore, but it truly has given me like more time to actually assess my thoughts and like do things that contribute to me in a way, like reading, actually putting open a book instead of like scrolling on TikTok. It's so much more fulfilling. Like, and I think it gives you actual chance to reflect. Like when we look at certain TikToks or scrolling on social media, like we may think about one topic for a second, but 100%. Then as soon as you swipe, it's gone.
The next topic just gone out of your mindset.
It's gone. And I don't think, in the same way that we don't like put our thoughts on trial, I think when we open ourselves up to that much information, just let it sit in our brain, we don't know what it's doing to our subconscious mind. It's just like accumulating over time.
Overstimulation, pretty much.
Yeah, and then it's sort of like telling you how to think in a certain way, telling you how to be. Not saying that happens to you, because I don't necessarily think. A lot of us just use it to brain rot and not care about what is on there. But I don't know. I've been thinking about like the grander impacts of it. Of course, I still use social media sometimes. Like I give myself like a 15-minute TikTok a day, and if you curate your algorithm to the right thing,
it's calm.
You know, it could be good for you. I think. I hope.
I remember when I deleted social media, Insta, TikTok, Twitter, to like lock into school, and like I felt like I was relapsing in the sense of like I would go and scroll on my phone to like where the Twitter was originally and tap it, and I was like, damn, I deleted it. I realized like how like deep in it I was, because I was like I was subconsciously trying to find it, and then like I think it was like for like a 2-month period, and it felt so peaceful, like not knowing everything that's happening in the outside world. And it's like such a beautiful thing to like realize like, damn, I can only worry about myself, and like that should be like everything I should worry about in a sense, like not like narcissistically, but it's like, oh yeah, I can take care of myself and worry about like me, and like not worry about, oh yeah, football, sports, Twitter, brain rot. It's just like it gives you like control back of your own life, which like relates back to freedom. Like you feel free in a sense of like you don't have to like be all like culturally aware or socially aware of what's going on. And it's just like it's nice to like take a break and like realize that, oh, like there's more to life than like your phone. There's more to life than social media, and it's easier said than done. But like that 2-month period, I did better in school actually. I was like, oh, I actually like got time to reflect on what I'm doing. I had to force myself to like be a good student. I can like go on YouTube for hours, Twitter on hours, just doing nonsense. So it's like nice to like realize that, oh, I can actually put myself in a discomfortable place and then like grow from that and actually be like mentally better from that too.
So, do you think? Well, obviously, social media and corporations aren't going to tell you to get off of social media, so I can't even really ask that question. So, what is one thing you just said that I was about to talk about? It's gonna come to me. I hope.
Let's hope.
I hope. Hold on. I can feel my brain going through the files right now. I can really feel it going through the files. Okay, hold on.
Let them cook. It might be cooked.
It might be cooked. It might be cooked. It was something you said that had piqued my interest a lot. Social media.
Like you being able to like worry about yourself and like not
worrying about yourself. There it was. Thank you. So, with like caring about yourself or taking time to care about yourself, I think the only way to truly care about other people is to care about yourself.
Yeah,
I think once you like genuinely take care of who you are and appreciate who you are and develop some sense of, I guess, self-love, that's when we're actually able to, I feel like, connect with other people on a deeper level. Because I think part of the reason why we can, address certain people as if like they're minuscule, as if they don't matter or stuff like that, is us not addressing that we're the same as them in a way, or us not addressing our own depth. Like, even if we do regard ourselves as the same and we don't value ourselves, then what reason do we have to value them? That's what I'm saying. Like, if you really do learn to value yourself, then you're going to just naturally, I think, value other people.
Exactly.
Because I think that we are what we experience in a lot of ways. Like, if you have a certain emotion attached to an event, you're going to experience that emotion regardless. And that event will be that way.
Perception from somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to just be your experience. So if we're putting out negativity and we're not really regarding ourselves, then we might not feel it. But if we actually are taking the time to be where we are and then we're projecting negativity, we're going to be like, why would I do that to myself?
Yeah. And it's like so easily, it's so easily said and done, because like, we thrive off negativity low key. Like, like everybody does. Like, the whole world wants to see people fail in a sense. Like, it's funny. It's like oh, it gets clicks. Like, you never see people. You never see people be happy about. You'll see people more so.
Hopecore, man.
More. You'll see people try to rage bait people. You enjoy people's like misery. You enjoy people's like funny reactions to like anger. More so like, oh yeah, I'm happy for you, man. It's like it like happens less than it should in society.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think we have such a focus on the negative aspects of like human expression?
I think it's because you don't know what happiness really means to you, and like in a sense, it's kind of like a twisted sense of happiness. Cause short in front of, if you're like mad, if you're happy at somebody else's own misery, it doesn't like really seem like moral to me.
Mm-hmm.
But like even if it's like on a small scale, like as rage bait, and like you seeing them like annoyed or like angry is funny to you. I mean I'm a victim of that. I do it too. I can't I can't sit here and lie.
We all
but
rage
it's
bait,
just
man.
like it's hard to like. That's not real happiness in a sense. Like that's not like
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, that's not eudaimonia. Like, you're not content with you who you are, and you're not enjoying that. But it's like, I guess the quickest sense to happiness, the quickest way to happiness.
Yeah.
So, I see that, 100%.
All right. The thought that just came into my head when you were saying that was the idea that like a lot of negative emotions are inherent. They're free. Like you can feel anger on a basis of nothing, and,
Yeah,
or you can feel sad if nothing's happening. You can feel sad,
Yeah.
and allow sadness to be inherent to your character. But happiness is not often something people attach to their own character.
Like, you have to actually
Because-
try to be happy.
Yeah,
like,
because we're taught that happiness is a result of a bunch of specific actions, like getting money, getting rich, getting this, getting that,
so you have to like
obtaining
strive
something.
for. You have to attain.
Yeah.
You don't have to attain something to be angry.
Yeah.
Like, you just be angry because
And that's
nothing happened.
twisted.
Yeah,
That's a whole twisted thing too. That's what I'm saying. Like if we were able to choose, like, and give ourselves happiness in just being where we are, I don't think we would do a lot of the stuff that we do. I don't think a lot of us would contribute to like the rat race idea,
Yeah.
or at least in a way where we forget about ourselves. You know, because I think some people go into that rat race and then they go home and then they're just mad at home and then they wait till they can spend some money and then they get happy and then
Yeah.
it's gone the next second.
It's a whole circle.
And that's one thing that I realized with myself is like there are plenty of things in terms of like my self development that I was like putting out there, like, oh, once I achieve this, then I'll be happy. I'll just be, yeah, I know I'm gonna be happy.
But
You
like,
get
once
there, you're
once
happy.
you reach the mountaintop, you're gonna be happy for a split second.
Yeah, then
and
you're like,
boom, what's next?
But what I'm saying is like we've already done and accomplished so many things that we promised ourselves we would be happy for. So why aren't we giving ourselves that happiness for already completing it,
Exactly.
for being in a state or being somebody who was able to do that certain something?
You know what's
Or-
funny? I was talking to
Yeah.
like Kev, like just last night, and we were talking about like why we have like spam accounts, and we were saying like, oh, like my spam account would be nothing without like my failures, because my failures are funny. They're inherently funny, and like it's just like nobody like wants to see somebody happy, and it's like, oh yeah, you're happy every single day. Like that wouldn't be good spam content. So people was like,
That's real.
people are like, oh yeah, in a sense,
My
like
spam content.
it gives you like more interesting things. Because for me, I always like say, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. In a sense of like coping, in a sense, like you gotta like laugh at your misery before you like let it get to you to a point where like you actually feel something about it. And if I can like make other people laugh and like laugh at that pain, at that failure too, it gives me a sense of like, oh yeah, it's not anything that I should be worrying about, to the point where like, it
Yeah,
affects
it's not
my
that
mood.
it's not that big.
Exactly,
After
yeah.
you laugh at it and rationalize it.
Exactly,
in a way.
yeah.
I get that 100%. I'm just trying to think of whether or not I really do that, but I don't know. I think that's a whole nother thing too, like our rationalization of emotion and how we're taught to like, even though these negative things come for free and they're pressed upon us, we still have to deal with them.
Yeah,
They're
at the end
still
of the
our
day,
emotions.
It's still gonna be there. You can't
Yeah,
escape them.
and we're not really taught how to deal with them in a
Yeah.
way of healing, but in a way of like
So let's
taking it
move
away
on.
for a second.
Exactly.
You know, taking it
move
away
on,
until
yeah.
you find something else to worry about. And I think that's just stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, move on from one word to the other every single day. Like, it's like even like taking like mental like break days. It's like hard for me to like fathom that, because I'm like I have to be doing something to feel productive. I can't just like, especially with my schedule with like 5-6 classes a day. It's hard for me to like realize that, oh yeah, I gotta put myself first, because like I'm not really gonna be taken care of by my teacher. They don't really care about me that much. Like they're just trying to get a check, and I don't really. Maybe they say that they just care about my future. The only person that really cares about your future is you. And if you need to take like a break from everything and detach, like you have to be the arbitrator of that. But it's hard for me to like actually like sit there and not do nothing. Like no phone, no school, no friends, and just like reflect. Because I'm thinking about everything that I'll worry about like next day that I have to like make up. So it's kind of like a trap. So
it is a constant trap, and I think time does that to us too. Like the way we reference ourselves at time. But with that, like, because I think I do a good job at relaxing. I think that's one thing that I've recently learned that truly, like, because like freshman, sophomore, junior year, I'm not gonna lie, like I relaxed, but it's just like you were saying, like your relaxation, you're still thinking about other stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think the only thing that truly helps me with that is being like super intentional with what I'm doing when I'm like we're doing my homework, doing work. But not only like having the intention, but giving myself like affirmation for doing it. Like, oh, I'm doing this. Like, I'm doing this, and then I'm gonna take a break because I deserve a break. Exactly. And telling yourself you deserve that. And then when you're taking that break, like that should be your only focus. That should be your only genuinely thought. Nothing just take the break. I think we just need to learn how to not understand. What am I about to say?
Go outside and smell the roses.
Stop being overstimulated.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's what social media does to us too. Like keeps our mind on a constant. We need to be stimulated, doing something. Yeah. When people like 200, 300, 400, I'll just say 500 years ago before and people were probably just living,
just chilling, bro.
Just living.
It's so hard to like fathom like what people did on a daily basis, like in the 1400s, without like phones, without like they probably couldn't even read. I'm like, damn, what did they do from like 9 to 5? What were they doing?
Probably and they're just like enjoying life,
yeah.
Or well, maybe I don't know. Cause do you think enjoyment is I don't necessarily think you need to be conscious to enjoy something. So yeah, never mind. I won't even say that, but. Yeah, I think people were just sitting there appreciating it. And I remember this one video. This might not be related, might be. People were talking about like, it's lucky the words are separation thing. Like instead of observing this like majestic thing, we gonna call it a tree. And in that way, it's lost. It's lost all its majesty. It's lost
all its like.
But like, if you look at it and truly are curious about what that is, it's truly a crazy thing. Yeah. It's truly a beautiful thing.
You can see like your mind working to like just like be enamored and capture it all.
And same with a person.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna just call you this. Now
like you the rest of your life.
Now I don't really have to be too curious. Like you've already told me what you are. I think when it comes to ourselves, we're told, and we don't have that curiosity anymore for ourselves, and that's why we're sort of stuck in that box. Like we don't think there's anything else left to explore, but there's always more to explore because there's always more to experience.
I'm gonna go back to you saying living in the moment. I feel like for you to actually be living in the moment, you can't like know that you're living in the moment. It always have to be like after, because if you're trying to say, I'm living in the moment right now, you can like have like that thought a little bit, but at the same time, like you saying that you're living in the moment, are you really living in the moment in a sense? Because you're thinking about like that moment right now. I think for me at least, like I'm blissfully ignorant, and I come back later and realize, oh, I was enjoying life. I wasn't having any thoughts about like outside things. I was truly living the moment. I wasn't saying, oh yeah, I enjoy this. But I knew deep down that, oh yeah, that was like a time where I was like not a care in the world. I'm enjoying it. I'm living freely. I'm having like my freedom in my sense.
I agree with the idea of when you're present, you're not really thinking. But I don't think that if you have a thought while present, that you're not present in a way. Like I can say I'm present now because I'm not thinking of what I'm going to say in the next second. And I'm not thinking about anything really. I'm just here. I'm just talking about the experience of being here in a way. So I think we can in a very real sense like be present, but I think it takes us not identifying so much with the act of thinking or our thought themselves and just being in the moment. Like I think a lot of people don't know what it means to like be without thinking about what being actually encapsulates. Like we want to know exactly what it means, but it's not something that has a meaning or thought. It's something that it's a doing. It happens. It's always there. That's the thing, and it's like always sitting on the tip of our nose, and that's something that used to get to me crazy. Cause back when I used to overthink, like I knew what the present moment was. Like I was like, I'm always thinking, but like I know the present moment is like right.
Exactly.
It's here.
Yeah, it's right in front of my face.
It's right here, but we don't really take the time to. It's like a relaxation thing. It's something you have to allow yourself to be a part of, or you have to not identify enough with your mind to just be there naturally.
Yeah. And it like plays into the fact like you're being too self-aware of the moment and kind of like in a sense losing the fact that you're in the moment, which I do that a lot instead of like just enjoying the fact. So
being lost within like the happiness of the moment, the emotion of the moment. Then it feels like everything slipped by.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know exactly the feeling. I be trying to be present like whenever I get the opportunity as much as I can. So even when I am happy, I try to just be presently happy. Like I don't know. I think giving yourself a chance to acknowledge those certain things will show you that it is sort of possible, and it's not like you're not playing a role in that. Like each moment of beauty that we experience is not void of us. Like we're always a part of every beautiful thing we experience, just like we're a part of every negative part we experience, especially if we want to live in that world of reference. So we have to give ourselves sort of pats on the back for all the good stuff we experience too, and I think we don't do that. But when we're feeling bad, when you're feeling sad,
feel every single,
when you're feeling sad, you could be presently sad, quote unquote, and be thinking about your sadness and continuing
as a feedback loop.
Yeah, and continuing to do that. And we never do the same for the opposite.
Yeah.
And do you think that's because, like, do you think that's in part because of media? Like, they tell us about, I'm not even sure they tell us to be sad in a way, but they enforce certain barriers to our happiness.
I mean, like, if you look at the news, you're going to be hearing happy news.
That's
like,
true.
Everything is like, oh, yeah, stocks are crashing. Oh, the economy's going bad. The world is going to, like, the world's going to be over in the next 10, 15 years. Like, never, like, turn on the news and, like, say, oh, yeah, oh, this man helped this guy. Like, it'll be like a small segment,
You're
like
right.
a minute or two. You won't hear something about, oh yeah, something's like going good, unless like it's like truly something like life changing or breaking, like mind breaking. So I think it's easier to just like, I don't know, be like scared at all times or have fear. I think fear or sadness is like way easier to obtain and way easier to like stay in than happiness. I think that applies for everybody.
And do you think its ease is something that's inherent or something that's just has been taught to us?
Definitely been taught, because like, at the same time, like I said before, like babies aren't like inherently afraid of snakes.
Okay,
and
so what do you think? Well, I wouldn't say what gave us that fear. Obviously, we know there are many things that gave us that fear. But if someone were to want to like be free from their fear, do you think it's possible? One, and if so, how would they go about doing that?
I think it's easy to not easy. I think it's possible to like minimize the fear.
Okay.
More say and like completely get rid of it, because like you can't teach an old dog, an old dog new tricks.
You can though.
You can, but it's definitely harder than like teaching a new dog something new. So like if you're taught up, like grown or instilled upon a fear that you've been afraid of for like years. Let's say you're afraid of the dark. Like it's not gonna like hit you one day that, oh yeah, I'm not afraid of the dark anymore. That's a little bit weird. It's just like, I think it's like you have to like put yourself in that spot of like questioning your thoughts again, being a neutral bystander and saying like, why am I afraid? Why do I actually like feel this way? And then like maybe you like saying that kind of like flips a switch in your mind, and then you grow from that pretty much.
I agree. But okay, here's another thing I've been thinking about is about like fear specifically. Like fear and courage are the same thing.
Yeah.
They're just different sides of the same scale.
Yeah.
Like you could say I'm very much not afraid and be courageous. You can say I'm very not courageous and be afraid. Like they're the same exact thing. And I think we just allow ourselves to be on one spectrum of the scale instead of the other. Like it's always a choice that we're subconsciously making, or maybe have made it consciously so many times that it has become.
It kind of goes back like the words of separation, because like you could see them as pretty much damn near the same thing. Yeah, like you said. So, because like it's like, oh yeah, courage is like positive fear, because they're still afraid, but like you still like have the ability to do the thing.
Yeah, it's like, do you still feel capable of doing the action in the presence of emotion? And that's really all it is. I think sometimes our fear just makes us not act. I think that's the primary use of the tool that is fear. And I say tool because it's been used systemically to force people to act in a certain way.
Because like, I can like pinpoint like fight or flight experiences for me where I just froze. Like I don't fight or flight, I just freeze. I'm like, damn. That's also another possibility I have to go through. So
hey, your mind took flight.
It's easier to just freeze sometimes. So
That's a whole crazy thing. I feel like we've been talking for an hour about freedom, but how far have we really gotten in terms of it?
Will we be free after this conversation?
I think so. I think, you can't heal what you don't acknowledge, truly.
Yeah.
And if we never address parts of ourselves that we fear are freedom, or parts of ourselves that are captive, they'll never really be free. But then again, like, to acknowledge parts of yourself that are captive is to affirm it.
Yeah.
But to ignore it is to maybe be I don't know. It's a whole thing.
And then like,
I
do
think
people even like fear freedom? Like, is that something that like
I
do
think
we know
so.
what freedom really is? And like, for you to attain it, like, are we afraid of like what would be the other like person on the other side? In
I
a
think
sense?
some of us are afraid of being comfortable without conditions. I think we want to have certain fail states for ourselves. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be free, and I've earned this freedom. I got this freedom because of this, that, and the other. That way, it can't be taken away.
Exactly.
I think that's the main thing that makes people like afraid of even happiness. Like, if you're happy, you're not really worried. So I think people are like, oh, if I'm happy, then I'm gonna miss everything that I should be focusing on.
Yeah.
But oftentimes, you don't miss much of anything. Like, if the information is gonna get to you, it's gonna get to you.
Yeah.
And there's no point in jeopardizing your present experience in reference to information you have yet to get. At least that's what I like to think. So maybe like freedom can start there in a way. I don't know. I'm trying to leave the people with something.
I saw something about like how like memories play a huge role in like our freedom, and like scientists realized they did an experiment and they saw that, oh, like for your memories you don't have to remember what like actually happened, but you remember the feeling that it gave you.
Yeah.
And that makes so much sense because like you like equate that feeling to like that memory, and then like you, whether it be like a false memory or not, it doesn't really matter. You really do remember how you feel per se in that moment, and that like kind of dictates your perception about that.
Yeah. I always think it's about how you feel now. And even when you said like false memories, like I want to say like how much can we really trust our mind, but that's really what I want to say. Like how much can we really trust something that's constantly teeter-tottering if we don't influence it ourselves? Like you can wake up one morning and be like, I'm chopped shit. You can wake up the next morning and be like, dang, I look good today. You know, it's, and I've used that example for years, but like that's such a real thing.
Yeah.
Like we're looking at the same exact thing, and we can
100%,
recognize that
yeah.
you can look at yourself and be like, because of this I'm ugly, because of this I'm that. You can look at yourself the next day for the same reasons to call yourself good looking. It's always a matter of our perspective when we're given to ourselves in the moment.
The human condition, bro.
And
Lies the human condition.
and that's a crazy thing, and that's why I think it's always about how you. I think it's about how you feel first that informs the thought that you have. I think when we feel a certain way, we attract thoughts
Yeah.
that are of the same like character. Like if you're really happy, it's not like you're gonna start thinking about negative thoughts overtly. Maybe it'll slip in somewhere, but I think if we're happy, it's like, okay, what else? Like I'm just
Exactly,
happy. But if
yeah.
you're sad,
It was
you're gonna think
wild.
more sad
Yeah.
thoughts. Like it's just a loop, and until we like make a choice, I would say, then we're always gonna be governed by
We're kind of like stuck.
yeah, stuck in a perpetual loop of ourselves.
And will you ever be free of that?
What, being free from the loop?
Yeah.
That's
Will you
my
ever be
goal.
free of that?
That's my goal, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's my goal. You wanted to talk about like predestination. I forgot to
Yeah.
mention that. But yeah. What were your thoughts about
Because
that?
like, I think that goes hand in hand with like free will, because like I'm Christian and God knows all. Allegedly, God knows all powerful and all good. So if He knows every single thing I'm gonna do, and like He made me in this way, like how does that play a role in my free will? Am I doing whatever God's will might be, or will it be like more like a multiverse type thing where like if I do this thing, it'd be like a whole butterfly effect, and like this happens, and God knows all possibilities, or just like, oh, like there's like a set path, and like what if I delineate from that path, or like whatever happens, I will be on that path, and it's like from birth I was assigned this, and I kind of like that's way beyond me. I can never find the answer to that, but it's like, oh, like in a sense, am I really free? It was a higher power that knows every single thing about me and about my life.
Yeah. See, the thing with that is, like, I don't know if I've ever been tripped up by that idea in free will, because I don't like to think, I think that all knowing and like in a way, like as high up as that is, it's one, not within our speculation, and then two, just because something knows doesn't mean that we didn't choose. You know?
Yeah.
That's another thing. And I also think that like our journey, our path is wherever we go. It's not really about what we do, it's about who's doing it. It's like always the path is always being like created with each and every step.
Like,
It may like
you're in your own
look
story.
familiar, you may you're always writing your own story. And I don't know. That's at least the way I like to think about it. And if we want to talk about like God and that type of predetermination, I think that it's just like awareness, like guys just
Yeah.
aware that you're doing this certain
Exactly,
something,
yeah.
and or aware that you might be inclined to make that choice, or you know,
Mm.
it's just like an ever present thing. And I think the only moment that truly exists for us, at least, is the present.
Yeah.
Like there is no future
Yeah, time
to
is an
deviate
illusion,
from,
pretty
you
much,
know.
Yeah. You'll
That's
never
what I'm
like
saying.
reach the future. Time is an
Time is a
illusion.
human-made
So,
concept.
It is. It's like once you like realize that, you like realize like, damn, like I don't even really worry about it in a sense. Like it's not really the like most governing body in my life for real. So
Yeah, time is another thing, man.
That's a whole nother like 2 hours.
That's something, man. I've always been talking about time, man.
It's like
That-
I love the idea of like the past and the future, but like you'll never like
you'll
reach
never be
either
there.
or.
You'll
You'll
never
never
be there.
reach either or. So like
Yeah.
you just have to be in the present, and like my present, it will be different from like 2 hours from now. I'll be in the present, and this will be in the past. I can look back at it, but I'll never be the same person I am.
Yeah.
Like 2 hours from now, looking back at this. So it's like crazy to like
Because
wrap your head around
we're
that.
constantly becoming new.
Exactly.
You know, but we don't give ourselves credit for becoming new in the moment. That's
Mm-hmm.
another thing. Like, if we can recognize we're not the same person we were 2 minutes ago, then why aren't we doing what we can to make sure that version of ourselves that is in the present, like right here,
Yeah.
is the way we want it to be?
Mm.
You know? That's why I think it's always about how you feel now, but that's a whole nother
Yeah.
that's a whole nother thing. Like, how you feel now is so important, because if you feel free now, you're free now. Like, it's
Simple
like
as that, yeah.
we're constantly putting off certain like attributes and characteristics or feelings for ourselves in the future. Like the whole idea of procrastination is you thinking that your future self will be more suited for the task that you
more
are now.
inclined to do this than you are
You're
right
gonna
now.
be right there. you gonna be
Nothing will
right,
change.
you gonna be right there. That's why I like to just do my stuff, because you're gonna be there.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna do it. It's
Yeah.
gonna be you. And I don't know. I think the whole like dynamic of time has just taught us that we can, or we do have time. Like there's still more opportunity to do this, but
Yeah.
there's no greater opportunity than the present. And you're gonna do it in the present regardless.
Yeah. It'll be a present in a different sense, but still, it'll be the present. Yeah.
You still gonna do it, bro. But yeah. So I think if I had to leave with anything, I would say that freedom is something that you really give yourself, and our captivity is not really defined by what we're contained in, but what we contain within ourselves. Mainly of all, like the framework we work with, how we think about, how we interact with the world, and even just being stuck in overzealous thought all the time is something that takes us away, because you don't have to think all the time.
Yeah.
And if you're not thinking, you can't be captive. For
Exactly.
real.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sometimes take a step back, go and smell the roses. I think one takeaway that I'll leave you guys with: read Plato's Allegory of the Cave.
Oh,
I
man.
think that gives you perspective on freedom, free will, what you choose to be, what you choose to like relate yourself, what stimuli you choose to like come into your life, and like take that and like embellish or like take it into like your own mind and let it be like a part of like your values or identity. I think that's like probably like the biggest, like the best like starting point for me at least.
Real deal. Well, thank you, sir.
It's been real.
It's been a pleasure.
It's always
Hey,
been real.
man.
3 years in the making.
We on top of the game, man. I only looked at my notes once, and it was just because I forgot to mention something.
Yeah, you good.
Come on, man. On top of the game. That's the end of episode 5, man.
Yes,
Take
sir.
care. Keep being y'all, man. A lot on the way. I'm about to get these podcasts back rolling out like I did back in the day. We back on it.